Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with amazing physical powers far beyond those of mortal men, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, wages a never-ending battle for truth and justice. Today, with Superman unaware of their predicament, Mr. Jones points a gun at Batman and Robin, who are chained to the wall in an ancient prison barracks.
Any last requests, gentlemen?
Yeah, Mr. Jones. I'd like to see you drop dead.
Amen to that.
That is just what I'm about to arrange for you to do. Right now.
And now, the adventures of Superman. While a man who called himself Mr. Jones held the famous Batman prisoner, another man impersonated Superman's friend, and after making a series of un-American public speeches, led Robin, Batman's young companion, into an ambush. Meanwhile, Superman had discovered a recording of the mysterious Mr. Jones's voice, which Batman had left behind him. And certain that Jones was an alias for some professional rabble-rouser, he had duplicates of the recording made and arranged for them to be broadcast over radio stations throughout the country, offering $10,000 to whoever could identify the man who called himself Jones. As we continue now, Superman, in his guise of reporter Clark Kent, has been notified that a man who claimed he could identify Jones's voice had arrived at the Daily Planet radio station. At the station, Kent is directed to the manager's office, where a middle-aged, weather-beaten man with shrewd, faded blue eyes sits on the edge of a chair, a battered old hat on his knees.
Hello, my name is Kent, Clark Kent.
How do you do? My name's Hempel, William Hempel.
Mr. Hempel, I understand you can identify the man whose voice we've been broadcasting.
Yep.
Fine. Who is he?
Not so fast, young man. Fella said on the radio I get $10,000 if I tell you who belongs to that voice.
Well, that's right.
So I ain't saying nothing till I see the money.
But you'll get the money, Mr. Hempel. After all, the offer is made by the Daily Planet, the largest newspaper in Metropolis, and we'll pay off. Just tell me who owns that voice so I can go after him. There are 2 lives at stake, and we...
Maybe so, but I want to see that money.
Maybe's about it, believe me. Now, if you really know whose voice that is on the recording, in the name of heaven, tell me.
Like I said before, young fella, I'll tell you when I see the $10,000.
But great Scott, I told
Don't
you...
you no good to get hot under the collar, neither. I know my rights.
All right. You stay right here. I'll get down to the cashier and have a check drawn. Okay, Mr. Hempel, here's the check. Drawn to your order.
Fine. Let's have it.
No. I'll hold it if you don't mind until you've identified the voice, if you can.
I can. Fella owns that voice is Mort Beeler. Now give me the check.
Just a minute. Who's Mort Beeler?
Fella rides round out in the country making speeches again what he calls foreigners and saying for us not to send no help to the starving folks in Europe.
Great Scott, I think you've hit it. That's the man I heard once way up in Maine. Yes, now I recall it is his voice on the recording.
Sure it is. Give me my check.
Here you are, Mr. Hempel.
Much obliged. Easiest money I ever made in my life.
Wait a minute. Tell me, do you know where this Mort Beeler is now?
Didn't say on the radio. I had to say that.
No, you don't, but I've got to find this man quickly because he's holding a man and a boy prisoners. Matter of fact, it may already be too late to save their lives.
Is that a fact?
Yes. And if you can help me find this Beeler quickly...
Say, maybe I can at that.
And you do know where he is?
I don't know for sure. But this Beeler, he's got some kind of society.
Yes?
Calls it No Help for Europe or Nothing for Foreigners. I don't recollect just exactly what.
That's important. Try to remember, please.
Yeah, can't seem to. Never paid no attention, count I don't hold with fellas like him. They're always trying to stir up bad feelings. Ain't good.
That's right. Now, if you can remember the name of his outfit, I can trace him and then...
but I can't. Come to think of it, though, the name and the address, too, is on his envelopes.
Oh?
Ones he sends out to folks asking for contributions.
Wonderful. Do you have one of them?
Seems to me I should have. I always keep envelopes to figure my taxes on. Buying paper.
Good. Can you let me have one of them right away?
Well, you're home, up on the farm. It's just below Mayfield, about 90 miles upstate.
Only 90 miles? We can be there in a minute or two. Come on, Mr.
We'll
Hempel.
be there in a minute or two. You know what you're saying, young fella?
Huh? Oh, well, that is... Look, Mr. Hempel, you've heard of Superman, haven't you?
Yep, sure I have.
Well, he's a friend of the people whom Mort Beeler abducted. And he's here in this building right now.
Yeah? Where? You're joking.
No, I'm not. You wait right here. I'll see that Superman joins you in a few seconds. Hello, Mr. Hempel.
Who be you?
I'm Superman. You ready for a quick trip up to your farm?
You really Superman?
I certainly am. Just open this window.
Well, I'll be...
There we are. Now, up with you, Mr. Hempel.
Hey, wait. Put me down. What you aiming to do?
Give you the ride of your life, old-timer. Now, don't be frightened. Up, and away! Have you found that envelope yet, Mr. Hempel?
Can't seem to lay my hands on them Mort Beeler things. Superman must have thrown them away.
But you said they were here in your house.
They was, I know, because I've been scribbling on them.
Well, I'll help you look. We must find them, Mr. Hempel. We must.
As Superman and Farmer Hempel search for the envelopes bearing Mort Beeler's address, Beeler himself, in his alias of Mr. Jones, stands in the ancient prison block where Batman and Robin are chained by leg shackles to the wall. Pointing a revolver at them, he smiles sardonically.
Once again, gentlemen, I'll ask you any last requests.
Yes, Jones, I have.
Really? What is it, Batman?
I'd like a last cigarette.
Cigarette?
Since when do you smoke, Batman?
Well, I don't much, but, well, in a tight spot, I sort of like a cigarette.
You do, eh? Well, I don't know.
Now, look, Jones, you took my name, my fortune, and now you're going to take my life. The last cigarette isn't too much to ask in return, is it?
Under the circumstances, yes, I think you are entitled to a last cigarette.
Thanks. Would you give me one, please?
I have none because I only smoke cigars, but I know some of the boys have cigarettes. I'll send one in, and I'll give you 10 minutes to enjoy it. Then, well, you know what happens then.
Yes, I know.
I'll see you both again in exactly 10 minutes.
Look, Batman, what was the idea of asking for a cigarette? You never
Now,
smoked.
wake up, Robin. Jones said he's going to send somebody in here, didn't he?
Yeah, so what?
So, we're going to make a last stab for our lives, that's what.
How? What good...
I'm going to try to coax Jones's playmate close enough for us to grab him. Then I'll take his gun and shoot our chains off, and then...
And then we go to town. Oh, boy, Batman.
Quiet. Don't let him hear you. This is a long chance, and... Get ready. Here comes somebody.
Straining tensely against their chains, Batman and Robin stare toward the door at the end of the long, low room, through which a burly man is advancing. What will happen? We'll be back in a moment for the tense climax of today's episode, so keep listening. And now, back to the adventures of Superman. In their ancient prison, chained to heavy beams in the wall, Batman and Robin tense their muscles as a burly, unshaven giant of a man approaches, a package of cigarettes in a huge, ham-like hand.
Hey, it's pretty big, Batman.
The bigger they are, Robin, the harder they fall. Now get set. You got a cigarette for me, buddy?
Yeah. Here's one. Catch.
Thanks. A match?
I'll throw you a pack. Yeah.
Oh, shucks, I missed it.
Butterfingers.
Look, I can't quite reach the matches, buddy. Would you mind picking them up for me, please?
Okay.
Now, Robin.
Come to Papa.
I got my hand over his mouth.
I got his feet. Put him to sleep, Batman.
Excellent idea. Good night, sweetheart. Yeah, that does it.
What good, Pappy?
Quick, now help me to through his pockets for his gun.
Check. Hey, I can't find a gun.
Neither can I.
What's going on in here?
Uh-oh, it's Jonesy. What'll we do?
Well, there's nothing we can do now, Robin. This is it.
Their last chance gone. Batman and Robin see Mr. Jones draw his revolver and level it at them. Is this the end for Superman's great friends, Batman and Robin? Serious as it seems, there is still a chance for the dynamic duo. So don't fail to be with us on Monday when further surprising and thrilling things occur. Yes, be sure to tune in again on Monday, same time, same station, for Chapter 10 of Batman's Great Mystery on The Adventures of Superman. Today, as Superman is still searching for them, Batman and Robin, having made a final, desperate bid for freedom and failed, can only stand by helplessly as the evil Mr. Jones approaches, gun in hand, to make good his threat.
Now, Batman and Robin, this is the end for you.
What'll we do, Batman?
We can't do anything, Robin. It's all over for us.
Well, gang, the Superman Hidden Word Contest is now a thing of the past, but its memory lingers on, particularly in the minds of the judges and the rest of us who helped wade through the veritable mountain of entries that poured in. And that, as I no doubt mentioned before, was a gargantuan job that compares favorably with the task performed by Hercules. However, don't get the impression that we're complaining. On the contrary, we're very happy about the whole thing. And we're pleased beyond words at your gratifying response. We're proud, yes, very proud, that so many of you played the game with us and thought enough of it to enter the contest. And beyond that, we're even prouder that so many of you knew and felt the real meaning of the words, "All men are created equal," a phrase that guarantees equal rights to all citizens of the United States under our Constitution. Some of you mentioned that this right was not quite fulfilled with respect to some minorities in our country, and you're not completely wrong. But all of you will admit that things are moving in the right direction, and that more and more, all kinds of people are beginning to acknowledge that all men are created equal. And more, this is becoming a meaningful phrase in our daily lives. So once again, we say a million thanks to all of you for your response to our contest. We hope more of you win in our next one. Of course, we don't know, so we can't tell you when that will be. In the meantime, we hope you'll continue to listen to and enjoy The Adventures of Superman every day, Monday through Friday, on these same stations at this same time.
And now, The Adventures of Superman. Having learned that the famous Batman and the wealthy Bruce Wayne were one and the same person, a mysterious man who called himself Mr. Jones persuaded Batman to go away with him under the threat of revealing his secret. Then, holding Batman prisoner, Jones sent a man who looked very much like Batman and who had been trained to impersonate him to Metropolis, where he made un-American speeches and led Robin, Batman's young companion, into an ambush. While Superman was trying to locate Jones, who he had learned was really a rabble-rouser named Mort Beeler, Batman and Robin, chained to the wall in an old revolutionary barracks, knocked out a henchman of Jones's who ventured too near and searched him, hoping to find a gun with which they could free themselves from their chains. But the man was without a gun. Their last hope gone, the dynamic duo could only stand by helplessly as Jones entered the long, dimly lit room. And Jones did have a revolver.
What are you two up to, huh?
Don't mind us, Jonesy. We're just playing patty cake with your gorilla.
Really? And you won't play any more games, because I'm going to take care
here
of
it comes,
you both
Batman.
right
Quick,
now.
Robin. Drop to the floor behind Jones' pal.
What's this, Batman?
Leave this to
Hey,
me.
what are you two up to now?
Drop your gun, Jones. I've got you covered.
Holy smoke.
What? Don't make me laugh, Batman.
This is no joke. I've got your gorilla's gun.
What a bluff.
What?
You heard me, Jones. Now drop your gun or I'll shoot.
Help! Ed,
Stop, Jones. Stop or I'll shoot.
He's gone, Batman. He fell for the old shell game.
Sure, he's yellow. I never knew a rabble-rouser that wasn't.
What do you think he'll do now?
I'll probably come back with reinforcements.
Oh, here it comes.
Stand back. The first guy who pokes his head in here gets a bullet in his head. See that, Robin?
Yeah, they duck back like rats in their holes. Well, now what, Batman? We won't be able to fool them forever.
Yeah, I know. Up on your feet, chum. Come on.
What's the gimmick?
We've got to make another try to snap these chains.
Are you kidding? We've already tried for hours.
I know, but we've got to try again. Now, come on now. Put your foot against the wall and then throw yourself backward.
Okay. Oh. Oh, it's no use, Batman. They won't break.
No, I guess you're right, Robin. We're not getting anyplace.
I wonder what friend Jonesy is up to now.
Oh, something rotten. You can bet your bottom dollar on that. Hey, wait. What's that?
What?
Do you smell smoke?
Gee whiz, yes.
Yeah, now I hear something burning, too. Listen.
Holy smokes. This joint is on fire.
What's that?
Batman and Robin, if it gets too hot in there, call up the fire department.
Uh-oh.
Batman, Jones set this place on fire to finish us.
Right, Robin. Yes, looks as if we've jumped right out of the frying pan into the fire.
Coughing as the smoke begins to swirl through the long, low room, Batman and Robin realize that their final desperate ruse has now also ended in failure. Meanwhile, in the farmhouse of William Hempel, where papers are strewn all over the floor, Superman and Hempel have been unable to locate the envelopes bearing the name and address of Mort Beeler, alias Mr. Jones.
You said you were sure those envelopes were here, Mr. Hempel.
They was, Superman. Like I told you, Beeler sent him asking for contributions to his no-good society.
Well, then where are they?
Yeah, beats me. All I can think is maybe me or my wife threw them out.
Oh, great Scott, what'll I do? I've got to find Beeler's address, because I'm sure he's holding Batman and Robin someplace.
I sure wish I could help you, Superman.
Wait, Mr. Hempel. You say this man Beeler goes around the countryside making speeches and trying to get support for his Let Europe Starve campaign.
Yeah. Then he sends letters to the people who heard him speak asking for money.
Well, if he's spoken around here and sent you letters, he must have sent letters to some of your neighbors, too.
Why, sure. I was speaking to Sam Hoffmeyer just the other day about it. Sam says he got a letter, but... Well,
where does Hoffmeyer live?
His farm's just the other side of Meadfield on the turnpike.
Good. I'll find him. See you later, Mr. Hempel, and thanks. Up, and away! Mr. Hempel says you got a letter from this man, Mort Beeler, too, Mr. Hoffmeyer, asking you to contribute to his un-American campaign.
Yep, I did, Superman.
Well, tell me, have you a
but
copy?
he won't get no money from me.
No, but
I always say we gotta help them poor folks over there.
Yes, of course we do. But what about the letter? Do you still have it?
Let's see. I reckon so.
Oh, well, will you show it to me, please? It'll give me Beeler's address, and then
Now,
I can...
hold on. Seems to me I seen it over here in the fruit bowl.
Oh?
Usually we keep all letters and papers and such in here.
Well, is it there?
Nope, it don't seem to be here now.
Oh, now how will I find Beeler?
Wait a minute. I kind of recollect taking it upstairs to Sari the other day.
Sarah?
Yeah, that's my wife. She's been ailing some, so I took her up whatever letters and papers was around for her to pass the time.
Yes. Well, will you please see if the letter is upstairs, Mr. Hoffmeyer?
Yep, go right up now. You just wait here.
I will, but hurry, please. Every second counts.
Anxiously, Superman waits for Sam Hoffmeyer to seek out the precious letter from rabble-rouser Mort Beeler, alias Mr. Jones. Meanwhile, the ancient prison barracks, set in a vast, desolate countryside, is blazing furiously as Batman and Robin, chained in the center of the burning structure, are helpless. What will happen? We'll be back in a moment for the dramatic climax of today's episode, so keep listening.
Gang, I just want to tell you a few words about a young fellow whose name is Chris Yorkis. Chris is 13 years old and a very nice boy, but he's having a great deal of trouble growing up healthy. As a matter of fact, although he is 13 years old, Chris only weighs about 40 pounds. Sounds incredible, doesn't it? Because most of you who are the same age weigh somewhere in the neighborhood of 90 pounds, and that's as it should be. Now, you ask, why is Chris Yorkis so thin, so much underweight? I'll tell you why. It's simply because he doesn't get enough to eat. And what he does get is not the kind of food that puts flesh on a fellow's bones. And it isn't because his mother doesn't want to give him the proper foods, or even because he doesn't want to eat. Chris' condition is due to the fact that in the war-ravaged country where he lives, he just can't get the proper foods. Yes, that's true. You see, Chris Yorkis is just one of millions of boys and girls overseas who, since the war, have slowly been starving to death through no fault of their own. Like the others in the same boat with him, Chris' weakened condition due to malnutrition, improper clothing, and other unhealthful conditions has led to his becoming sick. Now, you'd think a boy like that would have nothing to look forward to, nothing to live for. But Chris has one thing, a faith in other boys and girls who are lucky enough to live here in the United States. And all the boys and girls like Chris are looking for you to help them. You can do it by joining the chapter of the Crusade for Children in your city. Don't waste time. Do that at once. Your prompt response to this appeal will help to save Chris' life and the lives of millions of other unfortunate boys and girls like him.
And now, back to the adventures of Superman. In a desolate countryside, the twilight sky for miles around is illuminated by the glare of a raging fire that is making an inferno of the ancient prison barracks, which dates back to the time of the Revolution. Outside the blazing wooden structure, a half dozen of Mr. Jones' followers stand, watching in awe. While to one side, smiling broadly, the rabble-rouser stands with Ed, the man who was trained to impersonate Batman.
Well, Ed, that's the end of Batman and Robin.
Oh, it's a tough way to go, Mr. Dealer.
Huh? Feel sorry for him, do you?
Well, kind of.
You'll get over it when we start spending Batman's money. Ed,
What's the matter?
where are the suitcases?
What suitcases?
The ones with Batman's money.
Why, I thought you brought them out.
I thought you did.
Holy smoke.
Come on, we've got to get them.
No, wait, we can't go back in there. The roof will go down any minute.
We've got to. There's over $1 million worth of securities in those suitcases. They'll be burned up.
But we'll be killed. It isn't...
No, we won't. The suitcases are in the kitchen near the door. For heaven's sakes, come on, hurry.
Well, all right.
As Jones and Batman's impersonator rush into the rear of the blazing barracks, risking their lives to rescue their stolen loot, there is a rending crash, and the roof above them crashes down upon them. And at that moment, having finally learned the address of Jones' headquarters, Superman streaks through the skies toward the blazing barracks, then plummets down into the mass of blazing, collapsing wreckage, where he finds Batman and Robin, who lie unmoving. Has Superman arrived too late to save the dynamic duo? Has the rabble-rouser Jones and Batman's impersonator, who, driven by greed and bigotry, pulled down destruction upon their own heads, destroyed the courageous Batman and Robin, too? There are more thrills and surprises in tomorrow's smashing climax of our story, fellows and girls, so don't miss it. Tune in, same time, same station, for The Adventures of Superman. Today, having streaked through the sky to the burning prison barracks in which Batman and Robin were imprisoned, Superman hovers high in midair, then stiffens in horror at what he sees below him.
Great Scott. I'm afraid I'm too late to save Batman and Robin. But I must try. Down to them. Down!
And now, The Adventures of Superman. Motivated by selfishness and greed, a rabble-rouser named Mort Beeler, who masqueraded as a Mr. Jones, captured the famous Batman and arranged for a man who had been trained to impersonate Batman to make un-American speeches. Then Robin, Batman's young companion, was led into an ambush and captured. While Superman tried to trace his friends by the means of a recording of Jones's voice, Jones and the impersonator appeared at Batman's bank and took possession of his large fortune. Then they returned to an old revolutionary barracks far upstate to do away with Batman and Robin. There, the dynamic duo staved off disaster temporarily by overpowering a guard and pretending to have a gun. But Jones countered by setting fire to the ancient barracks in which Batman and his young companion were chained to heavy beams. By a grim stroke of fate, Jones and the impersonator were struck down in the burning wreckage when part of the roof collapsed. Now, as Superman zooms down into the flaming building, the rest of the roof is buckling, about to collapse upon the unconscious forms of Batman and Robin.
Batman! Robin! Oh, they're unconscious. And chained. Hey, that roof's going to fall in a second. I better rip these chains out of the wall like this. There. Now I'll just wrap my cape around these two like this. Uh-oh, here comes that roof.
Swiftly covering his unconscious friends with his brilliant red cape, Superman stands above them, shielding them as the blazing roof plunges down with a roar upon his head and shoulders.
And now, up, up, and away!
Unharmed, the Man of Steel shrugs the burning timbers from his shoulders and, protecting the two limp figures in his arms, leaps from the inferno high into the clear, cool sky, looking like a gigantic phoenix, the fabulous Firebird. Then, surveying the awesome scene below for an instant, Superman veers and streaks away to the south, bound for Metropolis. Away! A short time later, in the house they occupy as Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson, Batman and Robin have been seen and pronounced fit by their doctor. Now, after showers and a change into fresh clothes, they're in their kitchen with Superman, who has resumed his guise of Clark Kent. Bruce is making a third round of sandwiches, and Dick is pouring a second bottle of milk.
Say, this is good eating. I must have been hungry.
Well, good. I'll fix some more sandwiches.
Oh, don't make any more for me, Bruce. I'm full.
Keep working, Bruce. I'll eat Mr. Kent's share.
Okay, Dick. If you can take it, I can dish it up.
You keep dishing, Chum, and I'll keep taking.
Where do you put it all, Dick?
Oh, I'm a growing boy, didn't you know? Or maybe the fire gave me an appetite.
Oh, don't remind me of that. For once, I really thought we were done for.
Well, me too. And we would have been if not for Superman.
Hey, that reminds me. I didn't thank you, Clark.
Oh, forget it, Bruce.
Huh? What are you thanking him for?
Why, because Well, that's a fine question to ask, Dick. Didn't Clark find and identify that recording of Jones's voice I left behind?
Oh, that's right. And then he turned over the info to Superman, huh?
Well, that's about right, huh? Hey, Clark?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that's good.
And what are you two laughing about?
Who, me?
Yes, you. There's something going on that I don't know about. Now, what gives?
Well,
maybe we'll tell you sometime.
Yes, maybe.
Oh, come on, tell me now.
No can do, sonny boy, so forget it. Now
Maybe I can guess.
Don't bother, Dick.
Forget it, I said. Look, Clark. Jones, Mort Beeler, and my impersonator are really done for, aren't they?
Yep. They'll never pull another rascally trick in this world, Bruce.
Well, I hate to say it, but they had it coming to them.
They sure did. They weren't only thieves and murderers, but rabble-rousers who tried to turn people against each other, which is worse.
Yes, they were the worst kind of rabble-rousers, Dick. You know, Jones had a printing press in that old prison barracks in which he used to print anti-racial pamphlets to mail out all over the country.
No kidding.
Sure.
Yeah, he was a nice guy, all right.
Say, that reminds me. Anybody get a newspaper?
Why?
I want to look at the want ads. With all our money burned up in the fire, we'll have to get jobs.
You and Bruce have jobs, Dick. Your job is to bat against crooks and rabble-rousers.
Oh, we do that for free and for fun. And I'm spoiled. I like to eat 3 square meals a day.
Oh, what I've seen this evening, you like to eat 4 or 5.
Well, don't worry, Dick. You'll keep on eating. Clark tells me that Beeler and my impersonator needn't have gone back into the fire for the securities they stole from me because one of their men had brought the suitcases out.
Well, I'll be darned.
Pretty ironic, huh?
Yes, but good.
And when Superman went back there after bringing us here this evening, he picked up our little nest egg. And the followers of the late Mr. Jones Beeler, who were starting for places unknown.
Oh, well, isn't that nice? Ah, that Superman. You know, he's a lad after my own heart.
And mine.
Holy smokes.
What's the matter, Clark?
Oh, a fine newspaper reporter I am. Here I've got a big scoop, but instead of rushing into the Daily Planet, I sit here idly playing tiddlywinks with you guys.
Hey, wait a minute.
Out of my way. I've got to fly. And I do mean fly. So long, chums.
So long, Mr. Kent, and thanks.
Yeah, thanks, and happy landings, Clark.
Call me anytime. So long.
Hurrying from Batman and Robin's house, Clark Kent pauses in the shadows to resume his true identity of Superman. Then,
Up, and away!
Man of Steel takes again to the airways and streaks across the tall skyscrapers and broad avenues of the city to the Daily Planet, where he meets head-on with a startling surprise. We'll be back in a moment to find out what it is, so keep listening. And now, back to the adventures of Superman. Back at the Metropolis Daily Planet in his disguise as Clark Kent, mild-mannered and bespectacled reporter, Superman typed the amazing story of Mort Beeler and Batman and Robin. Then, ripping the last page of the story from his typewriter, he strode to his office door and threw it open on the bustling city room.
Copy. Copy, boy.
Coming up, Mr. Kent.
Come on, Beanie. Come on, step on it.
Yes, sir. Got something hot, Mr. Kent?
Oh, I got a scoop for page 1, that's all.
A scoop, huh?
Yes,
What?
but at the rate you're traveling, it'll be ancient history by the time you get it to the city editor's desk.
Well,
all right, never mind the conversation. Now, here, Beanie, take this to Mr. Burroughs. And shift into high gear, will you, please?
Yes, sir. I'm on my way.
Oh, what a kid. I wonder if he still plays euchre. Oh. Ooh, what a day. Even I can stand a bit of relaxing right now. Oh, and there's my phone. Now what? Hello?
Hello, Kent.
Yes, who's this?
This is Candy Myers.
Well, hello, Candy. Hey, how's the private detective business?
It's running me into the ground, chum.
Oh.
I need your help, but bad.
Oh, now look, what would a super sleuth need me for?
Now, please, Kent, don't make with a quiz game.
Why, what's the
I
matter?
wouldn't be calling you all the way from England just for a gag.
England?
Yeah, London, England. And if you don't get here to give me a hand soon, I'll be pushing up English daisies in a British potter's field.
Hey, sounds serious, Candy.
It is serious. What's more, it's a terrific story for you.
Well, just tell me where I can find you, and I'll see you before you can say tea and crumpets.
I'm staying at the Three Georges Hotel in London.
That's all I need to know, Candy. So long. I'll see you soon.
Replacing the phone, Clark Kent leaps across his office and turns the lock in his door, then strips off his business suit and spectacles, and is revealed once more in the skin-tight blue costume and crimson cape of Superman. Up, up, and away! Leaping high through his office window, Superman veers to the east and, straightening out like a great red and blue arrow, hurtles across the city and out over the broad Atlantic Ocean, bound for London, England, and Candy Myers. What is the terrific story in which Superman's private detective friend is involved, and in which he requires Superman's help? It is a terrific story, fellows and girls, just as Candy promised. And we can promise you that you'll be sitting on the edges of your chairs from beginning to end. So be sure to tune in tomorrow, same time, same station, and listen to Chapter 1 of The Kingdom Under the Sea on The Adventures of Superman.
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC Comics magazine and is brought to you Monday through Friday at this same time. This program came from New York. Stay tuned to your mutual station for Captain Midnight, which follows in just a moment. And right after Captain Midnight, you will hear Tom Mix and his Ralston Straight Shooters. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.